We're here with David, Nick Shirley's right-hand man from the viral fraudulent daycare videos in Minnesota. So David, can you tell us a little bit about your journey with Nick Shirley and how this whole thing came about, and how you kind of met Nick, and how your journey with journalism kind of started?
Well, I actually began back in 1997 when Major League Baseball was talking about contracting 2 teams, and one of them was the Minnesota Twins. So I formed a group called Citizens United for Baseball in Minnesota. We traveled the country. We made 2 documentary films, both of which are now in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And we literally turned the legislature around to being vehemently opposed to a new ballpark, to be strongly in favor, and hence we have Target Field. And the reason was that when Norm Green wanted $25 million to improve Met Center, the state said no. So he literally the next day moved the team to Dallas. Well, then they said, well, we can't be the team of hockey without a hockey team. So they paid $500 million to the NHL to get a new team. And then once they had the team, the NHL said, you know that Civic Center? Nah, we don't like it. So they had to build a new arena, and that was another $500 million. So they spent $1 billion when they to keep what they already had. You still see people wearing North Stars jerseys around town. We said, well, you're going to do the same thing with the Twins. You're going to let them go, and then you're going to go get another franchise, and economically it doesn't make sense. So then that was a genesis. I've kind of had my finger on the pulse of the Capitol over all the years, looked into a lot of corruption, and my relationship with Nick Shirley was something that I sort of started because I've been researching this fraud issue because I started to see all these childcares opening up. And I said, good God, how many kids do we have going to childcare? And I drive around and I go by them because they were near my office, and I drive by some of them 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, morning, afternoon, evening. Never, ever did I see a single child at any of the childcare facilities, ever. So then I said, well, what is going on here? And so I started looking at who owns these childcare facilities, how are they getting paid, what's the funding mechanism, who's writing the checks, and then it led into Feeding Our Future, it led into transportation, it led into interpreter services, and it all revolves around transportation, and that's the focus of our next video, and it's bad.
Wow. So how has this affected your life, like since the viral video, and like, I mean, both the negative and positive way? Like, what kind of responses have you gotten from the public, from supporters, non-supporters, you know?
So it's been an overwhelmingly positive response from around the world, not just the United States. We've heard from just about every country in the world. They're all looking into Somali-run child care facilities there and other Somali businesses, and they're finding there's this vast network of fraud, and it's like I said before, it's all based out of Minneapolis. This is the heart of the beast right here. And so overwhelmingly it's been positive. We've had quite a few death threats. Nick has a bounty on his head right now. I've been given a bulletproof, stab-proof vest to wear, and I have high security at my home because I am in fear of my life.
Governor Walz has yet to comment really on the 400 plus HSS employees that came out, the whistleblowers. I mean, he hasn't really said much about that yet, has he?
He has not, and so the way that worked is I went to DHS employees and I said, look, I know what's going on, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to go after every one of you for writing these checks. And so it was 2 days later that they posted that they had told Governor Walz years ago about this fraud, and then Governor Walz publicly admitted in 2020 he knew about the fraud, and the law says that at that time he was immediately to report it to the Office of the Legislative Auditor, which he did not do. He's saying now, well, he reported it to the FBI. That's not what the law says. He doesn't make that determination. The legislative auditor determines which law enforcement agency to bring into the investigation.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, David.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Pleasure. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Amazing, man.